Sensual, dramatic, bold, vibrant. These are just a few words used to describe the masterworks of the artist Pino. His career spanned 5 decades, starting with his illustrative career and ending with fine art. His work touched millions of people around the globe, and although his tremendous talent was extinguished much too soon, Pino will always be regarded as a master. He was born in 1939 in the coastal town of Bari in southern Italy. One of 7 children, his parents didn't have the means or the time to foster their young son's budding talent. That did nothing to diminish the young man's determination to pursue art as a career. In his late teens, he discovered women as his muse. His first paying job was a church calendar he was hired to illustrate. The priest fired him when he saw the Virgin Mary depicted with red lipstick and rouge. In his early 20s, he moved to Milan, where he trained as an apprentice under a well-known illustrator. He also attended the prestigious art school of Brera. After reaching a comfortable measure of success in Milan, Pino decided to take his wife and children and move to the United States. With barely a grasp of the English language, the young artist broke into the market and revolutionized it. Pino ushered in a new era in American illustrations. From the start, it was apparent that Pino had a style all his own. His use of bright colors made the characters jump off the page. Switching to oil as his medium allowed him to blend colors smoothly and seamlessly, in sharp contrast to the acrylics he had used in Italy. His use of motion in composition gave the artwork a 3-dimensional feel that was lacking before. Readers responded immediately. The books illustrated by Pino were flying off the racks. In 1980, the historical fiction and romance genre took off, and Pino led the pack. By the late 80s, sales topped $300 million. The artist got his first taste of fame when news outlets began to notice.
He is Pino Dangelico, a romance artist. He paints the beautiful depicted in such romance novels as Time-Kept Promises, Satan's Angel, White Witch.
It's a nice environment, and I feel 15 years old and old, for a certain way, of course.
It's great work if you're considered among the great. Pino is. He gets paid $7,000 for each cover, and he says if he's feeling up, he can paint a cover in a week to 10 days. It just takes a certain passion, sensibility, and instinct to know how to bring out not the sexy, sensual.
Instinctively, you build up the desire consistently.
Pino says you don't see many of the romantic men on the cover center because the men just are not saleable. So, who is?
You? When I do some saga, you are good at art, a good face, different. You are not the girl, the magazine or different expression.
Pino says I wouldn't be the sexy character, but rather the intellectual type. Thanks a lot. Put in a different way, he says, I would be a woman of deep sentiment rather than the superficial kind, a chic kind of woman. Well, okay, so I'll take it. After all, it's just part of selling the dream.
Fame wasn't what Pino sought. Rather, respect for his talent. But fame found him nonetheless. In the early 1990s, the publishing world was experiencing a dramatic increase in sales of the historical fiction and romance genre. Authors interested in launching their careers clamored to have their works illustrated by Pino. His work was garnering its own following, and art directors realized that the number of sales a book generated increased drastically when Pino illustrated the book cover. Even established authors such as Danielle Steele, Kathleen Woodwiss, and Amanda Quick insisted on having Pino illustrate their book covers. In the 90s, the historical fiction and romance genre accounted for 45% of the entire paperback market, making Pino the reigning star of illustrations. He got his next taste of fame when news organizations and magazines began lining up to interview the man behind the beautiful book covers.
You could say Fabio was created in Pino's image. He painted some of Fabio's first covers.
the mother, there must be a base. Then the artist has to give a lot. They come from the heart, and the more you give, more the readers will love it.
Now Pino's turned his attention to John DeSalvo.
Sometimes John complains, it's not me, but I do not want, it's not a portrait.
In fact, it's almost a Polaroid. It took just 4 days to paint this cover.
Another good one.
Thank you.
With fame came famous friends. His talent led to artistic collaborations with artists such as Francis Ford Coppola. But he had begun to feel that he was ready for a change. In his spare time, Pino could always be found wandering a museum or leafing through an art book on John Singer Sargent or any of the masters. His heart was always set on developing his fine art career. And by the year 2000, he dedicated himself fully to that endeavor. In late 1999, he submitted a small group of paintings to a well-known gallery in Scottsdale, Arizona. At first, there was very little feedback and not much encouragement, but by the end of the 6th month, he had sold all 10 paintings. Pastoral scenes with mother and child was the theme of the first collection. His subject spoke a universal language that appealed to all kinds of people.
How would you describe your art?
Extremely romantic. But I'm
romantic.
trying to fish from my experience when I was young, things that is a part of my memories, and try to bring up. And I'm pretty sure that everybody lives the same sensation that I lived 40 years ago.
Right.
So that I communicate easily with the viewer. This encouraged me, and of course, I'm very happy for the result of that so far.
Did you find it difficult to make the leap from romance novel covers to the, quote, serious art world?
No, maybe I'm so able to the camouflage. And when I paid for a book cover for a company, there are so many limitations. So I have to respect the date, the time, the opts. When I paid in fine art for myself, of course, it's totally free, no restriction, and this I can fly. I just have to question myself and fish for my experience, my interpersonal experience, and everything.
How long does it take to create, you know, a cover like this?
Bravo. Good question. It depends. If I'm in good mood and I'm hot and rested, okay, even in 3-4 days, I can, because I use a professional model.
Oh, I see.
In New York, specialized studio, model that I start with the sketching, get the okay from the art department, and then I start with oil on board, 24 by 30. So this one is a big like this one.
Yeah, not like you're not up there with
No,
a little
no, it's a minute, no.
Okay.
Let me see, because over here I'm getting lost.
Okay.
It's so interesting to talk with you.
Oh,
but,
thank you.
We
It's
have to,
very
we have
interesting
to,
to
but
talk
we
to
have
you.
to finish something.
We're not going to hurry you because we've got time. We've got some time left in the show. We're going to let you continue. And we'll go on to other things, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
We think.
Like a snapshot of a moment in time, his work was inspired by his childhood. Peasant life and farmers took center stage, but his favorite subject has always been women. Women were depicted as both sensual beings and maternal figures. He vividly portrayed scenes from his past, spending time in the kitchen with his grandmother, mother, and aunts while they prepared elaborate meals were his fondest memories. He also painted exquisite nudes and young maidens, honoring them for their beauty and grace. His work was unique and recognizable in many ways. His use of vibrant color, even in the shadows, gave the painting a lively, crisp quality instead of the often dark, somber feel of art at the time. His subjects connected with people on an emotional level, but his brushwork was just as much a part of Pino's unique style. The landscape was often depicted with broad, loose brushstrokes, while the faces of his characters were painted in smooth precision, giving them an ethereal quality. His vibrant colors and sentimental subjects built a following. Galleries all over the country pursued him to represent his work. Prestigious art auctions and foundations like the Andre Agassi Charitable Foundation invited him to participate. In the past decade, Pino has been celebrated as one of the most popular artists of his generation, and his talent has had art critics praising him. Between the late 90s and 2010, Pino has held hundreds of shows worldwide. In 2000, with Pino's support, his son Max opened Classic Publications. The budding publishing company began printing limited edition and embellished prints. People that could not collect the original oils could now own his work. The prints proved to be extremely popular. His notoriety spread globally. In 2004, Pino traveled to Spain and developed a taste for Spanish culture and history. The Spanish Dancer as Muse was born. The collection spanned from Spanish dancers to pastoral mother and child scenes and sensual Spanish women. The subject was so popular with collectors that oftentimes a painting was sold before it was even completed. By then, Pino was having an increasingly difficult time keeping up with demand. A waiting list had developed just to be given the opportunity to purchase a painting. He began to paint on commission. Many of those pieces were portraits of longtime collectors and their families. In 2007, in conjunction with the Dubai International Financial Center, Pino organized a show in Dubai to raise money for breast cancer awareness. Clients came from as far as Mumbai to attend. The show was successful in raising thousands of dollars for the cause and introducing the Arabian Peninsula to his work. He was received with great honor. Throughout his career, Pino has been praised as one of the best living figurative artists of his time, as a throwback to the Impressionists, but with a modern edge. Well-known art publications applauded his skill and through his work sought to educate their readers, many of them aspiring artists themselves. By the end of the decade, his artwork had become rare and collectible. No other living artist was creating artwork of this caliber. The auction houses were packed with potential clients looking to snag one of these rare pieces. They sometimes did, but with a prohibitive price tag.
Looking for $75,000. This particular piece is The Flames of Vengeance from 1991. $70,000 is the bid. Do I see $75,000? At the back. Thank you for the vocalization. It helps, believe me. $75,000 at the back. Looking for $80,000. $80,000 is bid. Looking for $85,000. $85,000 is bid. Looking for $90,000. $87,500. $87,500 is the bid. Looking for $90,000. $90,000 is it. Looking for $92,500. $90,000 could have done it. $90,000 is it going once. $90,000 is it going twice. Last chance and last call. Are you sure at $92,500? Gavel's on its way. The back of the room at $90,000. We thank you for your bids. Give them a nice round of applause. At the back, $90,000.
In the year following, Pino almost exclusively dedicated himself to smaller works of art, like his beloved art drawings. Collectors were eager to meet the man behind these glorious works of art, but that left little time to commit to larger-scale oil paintings. The drawings offered collectors a delicate taste of Pino's bold work. After 5 decades of creating beautiful works of art, Pino was able to publish 2 fine art books and 1 book highlighting his illustrative career. They span decades and are a testament to the ways a creative mind works and evolves. Never becoming complacent in his own mind, Pino studied how to transform his work constantly. He passed away not only still improving himself as a great artist, but also a great man.